me still attend.
It's true. I mean, also we're friends and stuff. Like, I guess that
Yeah.
matters. Eh.
Eh, eh.
All right. What was that? Twitch is live. YouTube is live. I'll retweet that, I guess.
A new cat moved into the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah?
They came up and said hi while I was in the garage.
Cat watch.
And then they promptly went to sleep in my new garden.
There you go.
It's like, fuck you, dude. That dirt is not for you. That dirt is
Right.
for plants. Little asshole.
It's what plants crave.
Fuck
Cat
you.
urine.
Well, apparently.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to leave you alone while he's gone, so I can run the bathroom because I also drank way too much.
All
apparently.
right. I've also drank too much water, but I'm okay so far.
You also went for a break between the two shows. I didn't.
That's true.
My bladder was stronger than you.
That's true.
Be right back.
Alrighty. Just in time, the nymph has returned.
Woohoo! What's
or
up?
Moon to leave.
Oh, okay. So, this Tears of the Kingdom amiibo looks pretty awesome.
Oh, nice.
I can
got the hand and
cannot
everything.
get that camera, to zoom into anything or focus on anything. Maybe
It's
if I move my head.
the spirit hand. It's messing
I
it up.
get. Yep, but yeah, I got two of them apparently. Best Buy gave me two of them, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure I only ordered one.
All right.
They misspelled my name on one of them.
Even better.
So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take both of them. But they both came up when the guy scanned my receipt or my email receipt to pick them up. I was like, okay, I guess I'll take both because the guy was like, well, you have a receipt for both of them, so here you go.
Right. To eBay.
I took one and then I gave my son the other one.
Oh, okay.
So now he has his own. No, those are surprisingly. I can find those everywhere. The
really?
Toon Link and Zelda one, which I think. Yeah, my son's got him out there. He's playing Zelda right now. Those two, I went into Target on my lunch break and picked up Tears of the Kingdom. And they only had one of the Toon Link and Princess Zelda packs.
Oh.
And I grabbed that, which promptly pissed off the three people behind me that I didn't realize were there because I saw that and yanked it and grabbed a game and walked out.
Yeah. I need to look at which amiibo I have. I think they're in the closet over there because I didn't realize that in Tears of the Kingdom you can unlock a whole bunch of costumes and armor and stuff and masks and stuff. So I gotta go check that out.
My son's got a whole list.
Yeah.
I think the only Zelda one that I am missing is Zelda, technically Sheik from Smash Brothers.
Oh, I forgot they made a Sheik. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Majora's Mask Link.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all ones that just like disappeared the moment they came out, and you can only find them on eBay for like fucking $100 or whatever.
Yeah, I just like all of these amiibos. I feel like they were doing all right for a while, but they got pretty rough pretty quickly.
Well, and Best Buy was supposed to re-release, or I guess there was going to be a re-release of the Majora's Mask Link. And I don't know if that fell through or if that all just got grabbed by bots, because I almost had one pre-ordered through Best Buy, and as soon as I went into the cart to check out, it was like, there is no item in your cart. I'm like, God, come the fuck on.
That old
How are we not past this bullshit?
Right. Jeez.
Oh, well.
I made a mistake in opening the door.
I see that. But she loves you.
Uh-huh.
Nap time. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpear.
Howdy.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Carry yourself over to patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are meows, I mean numbers.
That's right. And you can get all of the cool, exclusive, early access, and fantastic audio re-release every week and every month. The recommended tier is $5 a month. That gets you anything. Anything above and beyond that is greatly appreciated. We're releasing like 2 or 3 episodes a week now. You got your exclusive audio for the Outcast, which is all the stuff we talk about before we go live. It's kind of all the non-video game stuff we talk about every week. Well, what's going on in our lives and such. Yep. This last episode, episode 811, if you haven't listened to that one, that had a We Roguelike It flub, a discussion about audio hardware on picking up the pixels, and your regular TVGP stuff. So it's got a little bit of extra content to it. It's got extra flavor in it, just like Moon's Beard that Luis is hungrily enjoying right now. And then every Tuesday you get that comes out every Sunday. Every Tuesday you get a revolving either Wayward Sons, which is the supernatural TV show Watchcast that Moon and the Nymph are doing. They will be doing that for approximately the next, 15 and a half years?
14 years and 6 months.
There you go. For 14 and a half years, now that we figured out some different math. All that's alternating with critical misses. Sure, Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we missed. We're in the middle of recording what we think might be the biggest critical miss that we have missed at the end of season 20 here. So go check that out. And then we have We Roguelike It. You get early access to that, where Moon and I are just going through every roguelike we can get our hands on. That list is rapidly shrinking, right? No more roguelikes coming out? Nope.
No,
definitely not.
It's growing every minute of every day.
I try not to look at that spreadsheet anymore because it's really big. But all of that and more over patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones equals numbers. I am robot.
Beep bop boop. What have you played this past week, Moon?
Thank you. That's designation M00N. Thank you very much. If you're going to use my technical term,
I will not.
Honestly, I played way too much of the We Roguelike It game, but more specifically, I played way too much of the Game Club game. Recording this month. Join us in now on Discord, everywhere else. It is Ghostwire Tokyo. You should probably play that game before we spoil the hell out of it when we record our Game Club recording later this month.
We are we're going to be recording this a week later due to some scheduling conflicts. But like we've been talking about, Ghostwire Tokyo is on some level of PS Plus and on Game Pass, so you probably already own it at this point, and you should probably check it out. It's
and I will undoubtedly talk about it on the actual show itself. I had plenty of issues with the controls when I started. I did put in my recommended control settings in the Discord if you want to give that a shot. If you too feel like you are swimming in Vaseline, that might be a solution that helps you.
Right. It's in the Game Club channel in the Discord.
Yes, on the Discord.
Yeah, so go check that out.
That's been taking up a lot of my time. We'll say that much. Because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to that.
You're in a safe space, man. You can tell us.
No, I'm not. I know I'm not in a safe space.
No, are we
I know some of our community members. I've been playing my friend Peppa Pig.
I now sense your hesitation.
This is not the new one. This is not the one that stars the Queen. This is the one that came out before the Queen was put into the Peppa Pig game.
Okay. Oh, you're expecting us to know the timeline order of Peppa Pig right now.
I have kept my kid away from very few shows, but Peppa Pig is definitely one of those.
Is it the constant oinking after everything that gets said that gets really annoying real quickly?
That's one of them, yeah.
Doesn't help the main character's kind of whiny.
That is definitely true, too. Honestly, Peppa Pig has a performance mode. I'm just going to put that out there.
Take that, Redfall.
I'm just saying.
Peppa Pig's eating your lunch.
The PPPM exists out there, is what I'm saying.
That's right. Yeah, Peppa Pig with that hot VSync and 120 hertz mode.
I don't know why this game has a performance mode. It just
I love
does.
it. I love it.
Like, it's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life because I can't tell the difference. Guess what? It looks exactly like the show in the same way that the South Park games look exactly like the show. Because it's a bunch of cut out of piece of paper that do some moving and talking and occasionally make an animal noise.
It's nice to see that, though, because I feel like...
Oh, it's so good. Like, as a kid, I would love this because it's like, I'm in the show.
I'm playing the
fantastic.
show. Yeah. And I feel like in the PS1, PS2 era, it was always like, we can't make it look like the show. Then it's just going to look like the show. We got to make this 3D third-person shooter. We're shooting... like yarn balls or something.
In the clip you have up right now, it looks like you're just playing an episode of Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I had to triple check before I put this video up because I was like, I think this is the game.
It's ridiculous. It's like it is exactly like the show. It's voice acted like the show. It has interstitials like the show does. People talk like they do. It's cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's cool the fact that it's exactly like the show.
Yeah.
If you want a good example of that, go play the South Park N64 first-person shooter game, and then go play South Park, The Stick of Truth to see the difference. Which that was GoldenEye with South Park characters who swore and vomited and farted.
Really
the
rough.
Grenade was a Terrence and Phillip doll. Come on,
forgot about that.
Really good writing, really bad game.
Yeah.
I think it used the Turok engine as well, just to make things even better.
It did, yeah.
Got all that fog.
That, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm playing it because it's a game to play that doesn't take much thought and willpower. And say what you will, literally the bit the boss is showing on the stream is the part where everyone gets a participation trophy.
Right.
So take away from that what you will.
Way to push your agenda.
That's right.
my liberal leftist agenda.
We used to be a proper country.
Honestly, I can't remember who says that it's their agenda, so that's why I didn't say anything.
Right. That's right. Who knows
Honestly,
anymore?
I don't even know either.
They're all wrong. Whatever.
Yes,
Peppa Pig doesn't know either.
Pretty much. Apparently, my cat likes Peppa Pig based on how intently she was staring at the stream for a second there.
Yeah.
But it's good. It plays like the show. It's acted like the show. There's a bunch of different activities to do. There's like you actually create your friend too. Like,
oh, interesting.
You pick the animal, the clothes, the colors, all that kind of jazz. Like, you pick it at the start. And then there is tasks that you can do that are dependent on you doing other tasks. So helping grandpa and grandma and all that other kind of jazz. It's like, okay, cool.
That's interesting.
I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly good representation of what it would be like to be in the Peppa Pig TV show. And it's literally a one-button game. It is the left stick and the A button. That is it.
Right.
Which is cool. Probably appropriate for the age group.
Yeah.
I played a bunch of Marvel Snap. Obviously, we don't really need to talk about Marvel Snap too much, other than they have definitely balanced the meta to the point where no one real deck seems to be a standout at the moment, which is probably good for a card game. It's bad because now my chosen deck is I'm back to my MODOK deck. My I'm not going to make the joke again. You know what the joke I'm going to make.
Right.
I'm back to that deck again, but the problem is as soon as I drop Morbius and then Mystique, everyone retreats. So I'm only getting like one cube at a time. So it's like, I don't want to have to play quite literally hundreds of games to get myself back up to rank 97 to fail at getting infinite again, because that's what I will inevitably do.
Man.
Oh, whatever. It's fun. It's stupid. I still like it. It's still the thing that is used most on my phone above everything, except for maybe podcasts.
Sure.
And my final game this week is the 3 hours I got to play of Jedi Survivor.
Okay.
Woo.
We're talking that transitional game. It's still on point because I know he's been playing it that way. He's been playing it.
Yeah, I beat it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And I texted Moon too. Not spoiling anything, just letting him know. I'm hella excited to talk about this game.
Yeah. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll play like an hour more of it. Like,
yeah, it was basically the response I got back was, cool story, bro.
It's like, I'm really happy / sorry for you, but I don't have the time to read all of that meme joke. I don't know. I just didn't have time. Like, life is busy these days with a lot of different things, and it's like I didn't want to do my usual trick of literally starting the game club game Thursday before we recorded on Saturday.
I'm happy I didn't do that this time either, because I would have been in trouble.
Yes. And then when I started playing that game, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a lot longer than I thought.
Yep.
So more of my gaming time went from Jedi Survivor to Ghostwire Tokyo, and then now at the point I'm at now, it's like, okay, I'm good. I can put a bow on this whenever I feel like it, so I can start separating that time back out to other games again. You know, the 60 minutes a day I get if I'm lucky to play video games. Hey kids, don't ever be a grown-up. It sucks.
That's right.
I don't know. It's Jedi Survivor. I completed the thing that you do the thing, and yeah.
Oh dang!
And now I have all the MacGuffins. Yeah,
that's right.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, Nymph. What did you think overall about it?
Overall, I really liked it. I will say, without spoiling anything, that I was wrong about something that I said last time. And I was not unhappy about being wrong with what happened, because it turned into a really cool thing. Nice. That's all I'm going to say about the game, but I really love playing it.
Still great.
Yeah. So when you do beat the game, you do get a new game plus. And it does drop you off after the story. So it's like, hey, you beat the game, carry on with whatever you want to do, or you can do new game plus.
Yeah, get them sick collectibles, basically.
Yeah. You do find, if you don't want like any mechanics spoiled, skip ahead. I'm not going to touch on any story. But it's just going to be like very tiny mechanical things that I'm going to bring up right now. They do have stations that you will find towards the end of the game that it's like, hey, now you can see these on the map. Hey, now you can see these on the map.
That's nice.
So,
great.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
You can find all of your collectibles.
You can learn from this.
Cough, cough, cough.
And I do believe, I don't know so much about the seeds, but I do know about like the force training things. They do have a check mark next to them if you've completed them or not. So there's like a difference between, hey, here it is, and hey, here it is, and you've already completed it.
Okay, so, that's cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if that carries, like I haven't really looked at it, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure any chests that still show up are ones you have not opened yet. So
that's cool.
And stuff like that.
I'm appreciative of that, because like even when it comes to like the Forza thing, like I'm fine paying $1 to give me every single collectible on the map, because I just don't want to hunt for it anymore.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Ghostwire Tokyo, and I don't know if they do that in this one, but Ghostwire Tokyo has just a button on the map, which is like, hide the things I've completed. It's like, yes, thank you. That's all I really want. Like, I have finished these things. I'm good.
Yeah, I think it just stops displaying them once you've completed whatever markers on it. So
please do that more, developers, instead of just like having a check mark on it and still having 400 icons.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, like the ones that do, like the rifts, the force rifts or whatever. There's like what 15 or 20 of them, I think. There's not a ton of them, so it's like you can look and it's noticeable whether you've done it or not.
Sure.
Which I know people go back and forth on that, because collection-wise, you want to see what you've done.
Yeah.
Instead of like hunting, and it's like, is this the map? Am I not looking in the right area? It's like, no, this is here, and I already completed it. We're good.
Right.
So, what else? That's about it, really. all I wanted in the sequel was a fast travel, and they gave me that.
Right.
So I mean, like everything else is just extra stuff that I'm like, man, that just makes it feel better. So, I mean, have they come out with any more patches?
I don't know.
I think they have. Not since
to be honest,
release.
like, as long as it doesn't turn into a 90-hour slog, I'm fine with it. Like,
yeah.
No. Oh, yeah. I beat the game in like 24 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but you beating the game and me beating the game is 2 different time frames.
Well,
sure.
Because we both have.
I had to stop doing side stuff because I knew I was getting way into the minutia, and I had to stop. So it's like just do the game. Just
let's
beat
just
the
finish
game, and then we'll come back and we'll play with the garden.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing more of that game, but like the problem is, spoiler, there's too many games and not enough time because thanks to you people not sharing patreon.com/E1M1.
That's right.
The ones are numbers.
Without your rich friends.
Tell your rich friends
full time. Until we can do this full time, that's when I'll have more to say about a variety of games.
That's right.
Oh, here you go. My good friend of the show, Rob. Just a heads up, Redfall has a bunch of 17-point achievements. Thanks for that, Rob.
Why would you do that? Come on.
He literally said he almost started it and then saw that. I was like, I'm out. Like, thank you very much.
That's so frustrating.
And this is another thing he said a couple of weeks ago. Just because I know you love to add more things that you have to play, Dead Island 2 is actually really, really good. Redfall came out and Monster Hunter DLC just came out too. It's like...
You know, I keep thinking about picking up Dead Island 2 because everybody keeps saying, it's actually really good. I was like, I don't need to hear that. I thought I was free from like another big game.
I've got my first-person spooky game right now. Thank you very much. We're doing it for Game Club. I don't need another one.
Dead Island 2 has been weird though, because as soon as that released, like I haven't heard anyone talk about it at all.
I think a lot of people are playing it and they're like, "Yeah, it's actually really good. I'm having a blast."
It's great. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
But,
all right, what else have you been playing?
That's literally all I've been playing.
Yeah, what else have you been playing?
Okay.
Take it away.
All right, so I started replaying Diablo 3 by accident.
That's what everybody who plays
No. This was legitimately an accident. So everyone was talking on Discord about how they were doing like the server test for 4 this weekend. And PlayStation my PlayStation 5 had a thing up saying, "Hey, server stress testing, click here to join or to do or whatever." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So I click on it, wasn't paying attention, and then a little bit later, my PlayStation app on my phone goes, "Hey, Diablo's ready to play." I'm like, okay, that's cool. And
great, sounds good.
Looking for it, and I'm like, "Where's the beta thing?" Because all I'm seeing is Diablo 3. I'm like, well, maybe I have to go into Diablo 3 and that'll lead me into, whatever's going on with Diablo 4 stress test.
Sure.
Diablo 3 mentions the stress test, but does not mention how to get into Diablo 4 to participate. And I go back to the thing that I'm looking at that got me started on this whole thing, and it's pretty much the same thing. Diablo 4 server stress test. Download Diablo 3 right now. And I'm like,
that's super weird.
What the heck? So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. There's like a season. They're on season 28 right now.
Yeah, I've been playing some of the season this past week.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of random stuff that they said is like, oh, you can get and unlock and blah blah blah. And maybe it goes in Diablo 4. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that part.
Yeah, I can never keep track.
So I was like, you know what? I bought the Necromancer DLC when it came out. 6-8 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
And never played the Necromancer class.
Just
never got around to it. So I was like, I'll just make a seasonal, and then I'll just do it with the Necromancer.
Yeah.
And the seasonal starts out where the first, there's 8 or 9 different parts. I think it's 9. Each
for like
part
the seasonal
you have to,
challenges.
Yeah. Each part you have a specific thing that you have to do. I think there's 9 of those as well. And the very first thing it says is, hey, complete a rift.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. I don't have a Rift Tower in any of my towns. So then I'm looking up how do I access the Rift Towers? Because at this point, I might as well be playing it like I've never played it before because it's been so long. And it's like, oh yeah, you can enter rifts and adventure mode after you've beaten the game. But I have beaten the game. I've got my Crusader who's on Paragon, like 37 right now.
I did the thing.
Apparently, regular characters, yes, I've beaten the game. Seasonal characters, I've never beaten the game. And it looks like it's looking at them as two different things.
Really interesting. Okay.
That's the only thing I can come up with. Because I even double checked. Because at first I thought, well, maybe it doesn't have... Like, I can see my Crusader character, but maybe it didn't pull down, you know, that save or whatever. So I booted that up. Ran around as my Crusader, killed some stuff. I'm, like, in Torment 2 or 3 difficulty with them. Then went back, didn't change anything for my seasonal. So like, well, you know what? I'll do a little bit of the season. Why not? This started Friday, and as of before this podcast, I am now towards the end of Act 3.
Okay.
So
just flying right through.
Yeah, kind of just started blowing through it, and the Necromancer is a fantastic class.
It's a blast.
Starting out, not so much. The only thing you really had was just your regular, like your little bone spear AoE attack, and then you could summon skeletons or summon mages. That's what it was. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. I don't like that the mages don't last that long. I don't like that I have to keep resummoning them. I mean, I know in the past you had to summon things from corpses and stuff, and they didn't last terribly long, but it was way longer than these mages do.
Yeah. So
it's like, all right, so this class kind of sucks. Then I got to level, I think it was 12, or maybe, I don't know. But anyway, at some level point, maybe 10, maybe 12, you unlock, what do they call it? Your reanimation skill.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about corpse explosion. Which
no. I will get into how I've synergized this thing into a beast. But that is when you just start summoning skeletons. And you don't even do anything. You don't have to activate it. Your character just summons 7 commander skeletons, and you don't need corpses. It's just a spell that fires off.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So now it's me, and my posse is 7 commandos running around.
Me and my buddies.
Just wiping the floor. So I am currently level 38, and let's get into what I'm doing to make this game great. My primary attack is just Bone Spike. And I have it mixed with Sudden Impact, which gives a chance of stunning any enemy that I hit. And this thing is just a random AoE that fires off on enemies. It's weird because sometimes I'll have enemies close to me, and I'm hitting enemies that are like way out there. And sometimes I can't get it to focus. So I don't know how it's picking its target. But either way, it's a small little AoE. Does wonders. My second is the Skeletal Mage summon with the Gift of Death perk, which when they either die or they leave a corpse.
Aha,
this
now
is very important. Yes.
All right.
My next thing for corpses is Corpse Explosion.
Yeah.
With
here we go.
the perk Bloody Mess, which makes the explosions bigger. Let me tell you how Corpse Explosion is a game changer in this game.
It really is.
I have had so many explosions go off at once that there were still bits and pieces of enemies falling from the sky well after I've finished fighting.
Yep.
It's even more so when you're in like the tiny little buildings or whatever, and they just like funnel a bunch of enemies to you. I just need one of them to die. Hit Corpse Explosion. I've just killed 5 more. Hit it again. All 5 of those corpses blow up, which then create more corpses. So I just keep stepping forward and hitting it, and there's just like a wave of explosions going down the hallway. It's
so good.
God, I love it. They broke Necromancer in this game. The next one I have is let's see. I already talked about the reanimation. Curses, Leech. You basically throw a sigil on the ground, and any enemy that takes damage from you, you gain health. And then my Blood and Bone is Bone Armor. Any enemy that's in front of me, I just hit R1, and it rips the bones from them, causing them damage and making Bone Armor for me, which makes me take less damage.
Yeah.
I have not found a need for that yet because there hasn't been anything that's been a challenge so far. Even bosses, like if they don't send out minions for me to kill to get corpses to do corpse explosion, that's why I have my skeletal mages leave a corpse when they leave, because they stay out for like maybe 3-5 seconds, and then I've got a corpse on the ground, and then I can do corpse explosion, and that thing does mad damage. I think the longest boss has lasted maybe 20 seconds in a fight.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing right now. So I don't know what difficulty. I'm assuming normal is what difficulty the season starts.
I think
on.
the season starts you on normal by default. Yeah.
Okay. So whatever the default difficulty is right now, I am just blowing through this game, and it is fantastic. I don't have to think about it. I just show up and blow everything up. And this isn't everything, because I'm still kind of playing with some stuff. I did do the skull golem for a little, or the bone golem for a little bit, and I didn't like that you only summoned one.
Yeah.
Which it does a ton of damage by itself, but I like having like my 7 commandos just dispersed out.
Yeah, I like having all my Skella buddies. Like I like having a whole army behind me. I don't like just having one dude.
That's the whole point of the necromancer, is to have as many things on the field as possible.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
I also have the enchantress because I've always loved having her run around. I've never really liked the scoundrel or the Templar that much. The Templar's fine in the beginning to have that extra melee character protecting you, but the enchantress usually fires off some pretty decent spells, and she's usually off on her own, and I don't have to worry about her. So
yeah, I play as demon hunter, so I usually take Templar with me because I like having someone who's up front taunting, because I build him as like a taunt build, so everybody's staying off of me. That usually works pretty well.
Yeah, it's right now with all those 7 skeletons, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they're all taunting and killing, so they're usually running after something before I even see it on the screen.
Oh,
no. So yeah, I am just having a blast with this game. I want to play more of it. I want to unlock more of the seasonal stuff because I've already unlocked butterfly wings. I just need to figure out how to actually get them. I don't know if they come out at the end of the season or not because I've never played a season.
No, so the seasonal, especially on console, the seasonal challenges are really confusing. If I remember correctly, the cosmetic stuff is the stuff you unlock at like the 4th or 5th set where you complete those. After the first set, you get, for completing each set, you get an item that drops 2 green items. So it's like part of your 2 pieces of your armor set, and they give you all 6 pieces for one specific build. On PlayStation, after you finish anything after the 2nd tier, you have to highlight the 2nd level and then push a button to see rewards. It's like triangle or something. You have to push another button to obtain the rewards, which is like square or something. It's like one too many steps to get to the thing that drops the items. So just keep that in mind once you start getting past.
I was gonna say, because now, in just the first seasonal quest line that I have, I can view the rewards for completing them. I just can't claim them or anything yet. So
yeah, I think
that's fine.
I think only the first set is the one that doesn't have any rewards, and then the rest of them do.
Okay,
it's a little confusing.
It's fun. I was looking at my achievements with my son because I was like, what do I have? Because I never platinumed it. Like, what do I even have left? And I know I had started a witch doctor on hardcore because I know one of them was beat the game on hardcore. And I haven't done that yet. Beat the game
or hit level 70 on hardcore, something like that. Because I have that one too.
Maybe it is level 70.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know there is another another trophy for getting 6 champions to level 70.
Yes. Yep.
Which that's going to take a while. But I'm like, well, I might, once I do the seasonal thing and beat it with the necromancer, I might just go back through and finish what I was doing with the witch doctor. That way I can get that up.
And I mean, all your Paragon levels share within seasonal or within normal. So, like, you start a new character, and it's like, great, I have 200 levels of Paragon to redeem, and now I'm super strong.
Yeah, that threw me off, too, because my Crusader, like I said, was 37 Paragon, and that OP'd my Witch Doctor in hardcore mode. Apparently that transfers over. So it's like my Witch Doctor went from being this wimpy little thing to like I'm just walking around not worried about anything now.
Right.
So yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna at least knock out the season. Maybe get back into hardcore. I don't know, because 4 is coming out in June.
The first
Sometime
week
this
in
summer?
June or something. First or second week in June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
soon.
I don't know if I'm gonna burn myself out on it or not, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Diablo 3 is just such a good, like, I've been playing it and watching a TV show at the same time.
Yeah. Like, I don't have to think about it, and that's what I need right now, because I did also try to get back into Trails of Azure.
Oh, sure.
Nothing against the game, it's just my mind is not. I'm still in lore dump mode with this game, and I do not have the mental capacity for this right now. So
right.
I'm just like, I will get back to this, but I cannot deal with this much information right now. I know where you should be. I know what should be going, but I don't need you talking about it for the next 3 hours to me. So,
right.
So the last game that I played, and I have one more to talk about after that, is Fuga 2.
Yeah, I haven't started this yet.
Yeah, mine's just going to be super brief. I cleared chapter 3, so I'm on chapter 4 right now. And it pretty much just feels like the first game, which is
great.
That's all I want right now for most games that have sequels. It doesn't have to be this big change. It doesn't have to have this brand new feeling all the time. It's a sequel. It's the same thing with Jedi, same thing with this. It just feels like I'm continuing on in the game, and that's all I want.
You made a good game, make another one like it, and I'm going to be pretty happy.
Yeah, add a couple quality of life stuff to it, and I'm fine.
Yep.
So this one, I'm not going to get into the whole story and everything, but I have all the characters but one back now, and I have a new character that's new to this.
Okay.
But everything is pretty much the same. They did add a new aircraft thing where
interesting.
I forget what the icon actually looks like, but there's a blue icon on your travel map now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hit that, you can either buy stuff from the guy that's there, you can pay to have an airstrike done, which it'll pick a point in your future track, and you have to pay a currency, and it will attack that point with the enemies.
Oh, wow.
So it'll either destroy those enemies so you don't have to worry about it, or it'll weaken them so that way you don't have to do a whole lot more to take them out.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And it looks like the price is based off of the difficulty of that battle.
So
I know for like the purple one, which is like the super aggressive battles, I think that one was like 4,000 whatever money credit this is in the game. Everything else was like, hey, this one's 500 and this one's 1,000.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So that's cool. I have not tried the new soul cannon that you have that doesn't kill you. It does tell you, hey, this soul cannon, it just knocks your character out. It does not kill them.
Yeah, because it puts them into whatever the state is where they have to go rest in between missions, and
they're just like in an injured state or whatever. So you can't use them for that battle until they've recovered. But I mean, yeah, everything is exactly the same. They did add 2 turbo modes to it. So the tank just hauls butt across the screen, which I have mine set to turbo mode too, because you don't have. There's nothing to watch really. It's just the tank traveling.
Yeah, the tank is just moving from left to right.
Yeah, so you're not missing anything. So I have that thing set to max, and that thing is just cruising at like 190 miles an hour across the screen. But yeah, I mean, everything's exactly the same from the first game. Definitely play the first game before this game. This game takes place a year after the first one, but I mean, like, it's directly tied together.
Yeah, it just picks right up.
Yeah, they're both on Game Pass. Actually, is the first one still on Game Pass?
I
don't think they took it down. I thought they were leaving both up. Yeah. So, if you're interested, you need to start with the first game before you.
The first one is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to talk about that because it just came out and I'm not very far into it. It's still awesome.
Yeah.
The last game I'm going to talk about that I have not played, which is going to lead into Boston, is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
I told my son, hey, give me one sentence of what you think about this game so far.
Okay. He's going to steal my lunch with a cool review here.
Maybe. I have. So far, I've only downed the first temple. I really like it, and the new abilities. Wish they would bring back the bombs. I like that you can change the glider fabric. 10 out of 10.
Okay. It's a great review.
So, Yeah, Boston. I don't know how you're gonna follow
I'm
that
not sure
up,
I'm gonna top that one. Yeah, so I picked this up this week because I've totally forgot about the Nintendo Switch Online game vouchers because I was waffling about like $70. Like I would go buy a physical. I don't know. And then I forgot about the game vouchers where you spend $100 and you get 2 games from kind of a giant list of Nintendo published games. So I thought
this weird secret thing that they advertise, but not everyone remembers it, and they don't go out of
yeah.
their way to tell you about it.
And I'm like, well, for $100, yeah, sure, I'll get 2 games. Why not? One of my games can be Tears of the Kingdom, which is $70, and then for the other one, I got Triangle Strategy, and I figured that's probably a big enough game for these 2 things. So
it's a good game.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to playing it, so I might as well take this excuse to purchase it. So I have the game starts off with a fairly lengthy, and I'm not going to spoil anything here, so don't worry, anyone. I've played maybe 3 or 4 hours. It starts off with a fairly lengthy intro, and then once you get your haunted arm or whatever it is, I don't even know what it is. The game puts you onto the Sky Islands, which we've seen from the trailers. The tutorial area from the Sky Islands is actually much larger than I was expecting, but kind of from a gameplay perspective, it's very similar to the tutorial area from Breath of the Wild. We have this self-contained area that you're getting your X number of skills in. You use those to kind of solve all the puzzles in these little shrines, and then once you solve all of them, you go down to the real area. So far I have 4 skills. I've got the arm. What do they even call it? It's essentially
I have no clue.
You're grabbing things and you're kind of connecting them to each other. If you liked Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, you'll really like Tears of the Kingdom, because it's essentially that. Is you're essentially picking up things and manipulating it kind of how you did in the first game, but you're connecting pieces together. It's like, here, we gave you 4 wooden logs and 2 fans. You're going to be building a boat out of it. And you get all that stuff connected into like a boat or a raft, and then you hop on it, and then it does its thing. The other one is being able to fuse stuff onto your weapons. So like the very first thing you do is you take a rusty sword, you put a giant rock on the end of it, and it does way more damage, and it's way more durable.
My son was telling me that he made a bow, or put a bow at the end of a lance, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, does that let you shoot the lance? And he's like, I don't know what it does, but it just let me do it. So.
That's right. I don't know, but it's good. And that's Tears of the Kingdom. Is sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but it's not stopping me, so I'm going to keep trying. Yeah. The third one is the one that I feel like we've seen from most of the trailers, where you ascend through the ceiling, and kind of through the ceiling you come out of the floor above it. That's been a lot of fun. And then sort of at the end of the tutorial area, they give you the skill to rewind time for a specific item. So the tutorial area is pretty good. I like that there's a lot of optional puzzles that you can do with the powers as you're kind of going from point A to point B. They're not required for you to get to the next shrine, but it's very clearly going to get you at least a treasure chest or 2 along the way and give you some extra stuff. And then at the end of that, they just throw you down into Hyrule, and it's like, yeah, man, the map's open. Go nuts.
Have at it.
Yeah. And,
I know, because watching my son play, I got a little bit of PTSD seeing how small his stamina meter was again.
It's been a little rough. Yeah.
And he's been complaining that every time he goes to do something, it's either raining or there's a thunderstorm, which means I can't climb anything.
Yep. It's been a little bit Zelda frustrating so far. But I've been pretty happy with the lack of training wheels once you get off of the tutorial area. Once you get down there, essentially right in front of you is a giant city. You head in there, you meet Pura, and you meet kind of a bunch of people from the first game, and you do a quick mission. You come back, you activate your first tower, and you get your glider. Please, for anyone playing this, do that mission first, otherwise you're not going to get the glider. And the game kind of doesn't care if you do it or not. And once you do that mission, they're like, all right, here are 4 places for you to go. Here's a bunch of side quests in the town you're in. Go find Zelda. Go nuts. Get out. And I'm pretty happy with it. It feels a little bit more balanced compared to the beginning of Breath of the Wild, where Breath of the Wild was like, go kill Ganon. I don't know, what else do you need? And it's like, well, where should I also go? And Tears of the Kingdom feels a lot better about that. Of, here are 4 villages you should go to. They each have a tower, so you can unlock the map, but they all kind of need something, and surely one of these things will get you closer to finding Zelda. So I appreciate that a lot, as opposed to like, I don't know, go nuts, whatever. I've done a couple of shrines once I got down to Hyrule, and so far there's like 2 right off the bat where it's like your standard combat shrines, where it's like, oh, here's how to dodge, and here's how to block, and here's how to throw items and stuff like that. And that stuff is fine. I did a really devious shrine, all about attaching something to a wheel and having it rotate. And there were 2 or 3 kind of pretty creative puzzles in there about having to do about doing that specific thing. I think my main concern about this game, I guess kind of before I talk about other stuff, is I'm concerned about my personal longevity with this game, because I don't like nuts and bolts style games. I don't like this thing where you go into a room where there's clearly a puzzle and there's just a bunch of junk on the floor, and they're like, how are you gonna get across this lake? And they like cross their arms and they're like, what are you gonna do? It's like, I don't know. My brain doesn't work like that, man. So far this game, even with some of the easiest puzzles, has been a little bit of a struggle. But I'm really trying to persevere, because I have been enjoying so much of this game so far, but my brain kind of rebels against, like, how are you going to make this stuff into a vehicle? I'm like, I don't know.
I was going to say, do you think that's mostly because you're still trying to figure out where the edge of the freedom actually is?
No, because mostly for me, it's sort of like, what am I going to turn all this stuff into? Like what sort of vehicle are you expecting me to build to get? I need that, like, initial push of, like, it's a car. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, maybe I can make a car out of these things. Or it's like, it's a sailboat. It's like, oh yeah, I could put all this stuff together for a sailboat. So okay. That's always my I have the level of creativity to make the thing. It's like, if you see the box on you see the picture on the Lego box, it's like, oh, it's a car. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, you give me car parts. Yeah. But like, other than that,
you
that's
have
where
the
I struggle.
Basic B understanding.
Yeah, like I will never be an engineer, because that's
what
not
it
my
feels
skill
like this
set.
is missing is like and obviously it's difficult to do in the way the game is set up, but it's that nuts and bolts thing of, here is the mission, show me the community designs from this mission.
Right.
And you just get the absolutely bonkers stuff just right there for you to use.
Right. It's like, why would a human make this?
I think my issue would be is that, because I know what I could do in Breath of the Wild, and I spent like an obscene amount of time like doing stuff that I didn't think the game would let me do.
Right.
And I think that would be part of my issue, was I would have my mind set on, I need to build this thing. But the game now won't let me, so now I'm trying to figure out, well, how can I really build this thing in a way that will let the game let me build the thing that I'm going to build?
Right. And I think that's been one of the things I've been kind of pleasantly surprised about with this so far, is you get you kind of have your 3 or 4 skills, but you're really only using in most of these puzzles. You're kind of only using the fuse or the ultra hand, I think is the one that where you connect stuff together. But what's really great is they give you a couple of essentially machines. So you get like a flamethrower, you get a wheel, you get a fan, and then you can combine all of that stuff together. So if you're going to make a car, you're going to put a couple boards together, you're going to put 4 wheels on it, you're going to put a fan behind it, and now you have a car that moves. So like they're giving you all the tools, and you get the freedom for kind of for better or for worse to make all of that stuff work.
I'm just saying, I can't wait to see the crazy videos we're going to get from this game.
It's already been very surprising.
Yeah, I was like, just finding out that you can make a floating airship in Breath of the Wild was like one of the best things that ever happened to me when I did it by accident. And then you see all the videos of what all the other crazy things people are doing in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's what seems so great about Tears of the Kingdom at the beginning is like, oh, you guys liked making airships. Let's just make that a game then. Why don't you just make a whole bunch of stuff? Just that's the video game. So I've been pretty happy with it so far. And performance, I'm in playing it docked, and I haven't played it handheld yet, but I hear performance is fine on that too. Performance so far has been solid. The only time I got some performance dips was in the Sky Islands. When you're manipulating a lot of pieces at the same time, and there's a bunch of like fog and particle effects and stuff, then that dips pretty significantly under 20 frames, but it's not anything that's for multiple seconds at a time. It's sort of like, oh, the engine is really chugging under the weight of what I'm moving. Yeah. I put it down, and the game's like, okay, I can catch my breath here. Surprisingly, once I got down into Hyrule, the frame rate has been really solid, even if I'm fighting a bunch of stuff at the same time, or I'm... So, when you land, very quickly you run into these giant piles of building materials, and the game is like, ready for construction, boss, and there's like a sign of like, this construction company has provided these materials. Feel free to use them to restore Hyrule. And I'm like, I'm gonna build something out of them. I mean, the game is very clearly like, what would you do with all these boards? Wink. But really quickly you run into this guy that's holding up this sign who's doing an advertisement for that construction company. And he's like, I can't figure out how to balance these signs. If only there was a better way. So every time you run into him, it's essentially like, what can I construct to hold this sign up every time he lets it go? Those have been kind of fun because it's a little bit more focused, and usually there's something around him, or the sign looks kind of specific, where it's like, are you going to build something kind of at an angle, and you got a bunch of pieces to do it. And he usually gives you like 3 or 4 things every time you complete it, which is pretty nice. The thing I think I've been more surprised about has been that the combat, as soon as you get into Hyrule, is actually pretty hard. I went into one of those, they had this in Breath of the Wild where they have one of those skull caves where you look right on it and it looks like a skull and has a face and everything. I went into one of those, and there were a bunch of what are the goblins called? Moblins?
Moblins and bogoblins.
Yeah, they had a bunch of those in there around a fire, and I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out my bow, and I'm going to connect a bomb to the arrow. I'm just going to shoot a bomb right in there. That worked super great, and it cleared out all of them, except for a giant dude in the background that I had not seen. So when he starts charging me, I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep shooting bombs at him because my arrows are doing pretty much nothing. And I get him almost down to totally dead, and he comes over and hits me once and takes all 4 of my hearts away and kills me in one shot. And it's like, game over. It's like, yeah, right. Yes, that's correct. That's what the beginning of this game is. Okay, I will avoid fighting here for a little bit. So I I haven't done that much exploring in the game overall because I'm doing the open world thing. You know, people loved this about Elden Ring. People loved this about Breath of the Wild. I'm loving it about this, where I'm like, I see a shrine over there off in the distance, which is great because they're bigger now. This big green swirl above them. They are very distinctive. It's on the stream right now if you're watching the video version. So it's really easy to see from really far away. So it's a lot of like, all right, I'm looking over to the northeast. I see 2 of them. I've marked them with the Pura pad, which this time it looks like a Switch instead of a Wii U gamepad, which is great.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm beelining it right over there. Ooh, what's that thing, though? Hey, what's this thing? Oh, yeah, beehives. Oh, right, bees are attacking me. Hey, what's this thing over here? So, like, I keep doing that zigzag thing of, like, all right, I'm going to the shrine. Wait, what's this over here? And that's the stuff that I genuinely really like. So, I think I'm headed in the general direction of the first town that they really want you to go to. The quest line that I have seen people talk about online is the running kind of an independent newspaper quest. That seems to be the first one you should really go do. I think that's in wherever the bird people kingdom is. I think that's in that area. So I unfortunately didn't get a lot of time yesterday to play this because we were doing home projects, which you'll be shocked to find out a home project that was only supposed to take like 2 hours or so took pretty much all day. So shock of all shocks. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I was kind of worried about going into this. I think we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks about most notably performance. So far that's been pretty solid. The story has been a little bit more at the forefront, which is nice. And I think they give you all of the abilities early enough, and they give you enough of a kind of a playground to play with them in, that by the time you leave the tutorial area, I feel a little bit better about the abilities than maybe I did at the beginning of Breath of the Wild. Because I think Breath of the Wild gives you, 4 or 5 abilities at the beginning?
All you
Something
needed
like
was
that?
bombs. Bombs
Yeah, and
carried
like,
you through that game.
Yeah, bombs carried you. It's like bombs
the fact
and magnets,
that
and
you
you're
could turn it into
fine.
a cube or a sphere, because did you want your bomb to roll, or did you want it to sit where you left
Right.
it?
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising they don't have that bomb ability, because that felt kind of foundational to Breath of the Wild, but so far I haven't really found any of those abilities, which has been kind of nice. And it's nice to see them kind of break from the last game where, like, yes, it is Breath of the Wild 2, but it isn't like you start with all of your abilities and let's go, here's 4 new ones. It's like, no, man, that was the last game. You got a bunch of new stuff here. Let's play with the new stuff. So I'm hoping to put a bunch more time into it. I'd like to try and find and clear the first of the temples, because people have been speaking pretty highly about the temples as being more like the traditional Zelda kind of dungeon experience. And that's what I was missing from Breath of the Wild. The what were those called? The animals in Breath of the Wild, the like sacred
Guardians?
beasts. Yeah, whatever.
The divine beasts.
Divine beasts, yeah.
Divine beasts, yes.
I kind of missed that. Those were close. I don't think people gave those enough credit at the time. I probably didn't either if you go back and listen to those episodes. But that dungeon kind of feel is really what I'm looking for. I don't think, since this is a non-traditional kind of typical Zelda game, I don't think we're going to get like, you get the boomerang in this one and you use the boomerang to solve the puzzles in this entire dungeon. I don't think you're going to get that in this, and that's fine. But I'm hoping you get that kind of longer sort of experience here. But so far so good. I think I was expecting this to be Breath of the Wild 2, which is kind of fair, and this game kind of is. But I like that even in the early experience, the game just kind of lets you get weird with its systems, and it encourages you and expects you to kind of break it. And one last thing, I was really worried because there's like a gotcha machine in the Sky Islands, and I was like, oh god, here we go. What is this going to be? But it actually turns out to be from any of the robots you fight, they drop these little like energy orb things. You feed those into this gotcha machine, and it essentially dumps out a kind of portable single-use version of all of these machines, so like fans and flamethrowers and wheels and stuff like that. It dumps out carryable single-use versions of those, and I was like, all right, that's pretty good. I really appreciate that. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll have probably Nimp, you and I will have a lot more to talk about Tears of the Kingdom over the next couple weeks as we kind of dive into it. But I think I cooled on Breath of the Wild over time, and I think this feels pretty solid from the beginning. And I'm excited to play more of it. Once I finish Ghostwire Tokyo.
I'm excited to start it because I came off of Jedi Survivor, which is pretty much a Zelda game with Jedis.
Sure, yeah.
And now I'm like, no, I want to play this now. We did have to make in order, because this only has the one save file per account. So we did make an account for my son on the Switch.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Which you do not need an email for. You can just make another profile on your Switch and you're good to go.
Okay, that's good.
So that took like no time. So now he's got his own save file, and then I can just switch over to mine so I can start it. But
yeah,
that was the one thing I was worried about.
I have heard that you can carry some stuff over from Breath of the Wild if you have a save for that. I don't really, because I played that on the Wii U. And I hear kind of the biggest thing you can carry over is the horses in your stable, which I don't think I got any horses on my Switch playthrough of Breath of the Wild, because I played for maybe 4 or 5 hours. So if there's anything else, I'm not sure. And I haven't played with any of the amiibo stuff. Nim and I were talking a little bit about that here before we started, that there's a little bit of amiibo stuff. Yeah, like costumes and masks and stuff, depending on... If you put the Link's Awakening link in there, you have a chance of getting the mask and the outfit and stuff like that. So nothing so far that I've seen that's super crazy, but some little fun stuff.
And it sounds like the Wolf amiibo still summons Wolf Link in this game, like it did in Breath of the Wild as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. Interesting.
You'll have another companion running around fighting with you until they run out of hearts. So.
Right. Yeah. So far, so good. I'm hoping to spend a bunch of time with it this week, and hopefully we'll have more kind of in-depth stuff to talk about next week.
My son will probably have 80 hours in this game by the time we
pick
that
Dad,
up.
you haven't finished it yet? Come on, man.
Are you kidding me? Some people have 80 hours in this game by now.
Well,
exactly.
He's also got tomorrow off. So he's
lucky.
like, oh man, he's like super excited to play Zelda all day tomorrow too.
Right.
Like, all right, man, whatever. Just remember, as soon as you beat it, that Switch is coming in this room. So
that's right. That's right. All right, that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break. Bye, Link. Enjoy your ride.
Yes.
Zoom.
He's hooked on Breath of the Wild.
Ha ha.
Looking at, I mean, this game reviewed well all across the board.
Yeah. Yep.
But there are people out there just complaining. This looks like Breath of the Wild. What, really?
It's still on the same console, bro.
Exactly. It's like, what were you expecting?
Yeah, like, it's hard to talk about the performance of this game, because, like, it hits 30 a lot, and, you know, there's that one infamous tweet out there, someone's like, oh, so Redfall can't hit 30, and, it doesn't do 60, and this is the end of the world, and now Zelda doesn't even hit 30, and this is the best game of the year, and it's like, these are different expectations. Yes. These are different platforms. Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't impact you playing the game as much as it does in a first-person shooter where frames matter.
Right.
Yeah. It made me laugh because Jen Bartel, comic artist extraordinaire.
Right.
If you haven't seen Jen's artwork, you really should.
It's very good.
Insane.
Yeah.
commented on this, and someone came at them with, "Oh, you're such a fucking like cunt," and all this other kind of bullshit.
Wow.
And someone responded with, "Well, why the hell are people taking this so personally?" And my response was, honestly, because it's a woman on the internet talking about video games.
Yeah.
Like,
how dare she?
Sometimes it's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
It's.
I wish it performed a little bit better. Like, I wish it was solid 30 the whole way, but like the amount of dips that I've gotten into like the 20s and the 15s, it hasn't been bad enough to say that it's been bad. And again, it's almost like the old school console thing where it's like I'm doing so well and I've caused so much chaos on the screen that the game is slowing down. It's like, all right, I did it. Yeah. I broke the game. Yeah.
Pharaoh and Clarissa in chat know what time it is. That's right, it's dad joke time, baby.
Oh, sweet God.
Because it's break time, which means it's dad joke time, and Boston always forgets, and it's the best.
I do, and it's just killing me. Go ahead.
How is Christmas like another day at the office?
Because you still have to work.
Because you do all the work, and some fat guy in a suit gets all the credit.
Heyo.
Yep.
There's a huge story here that I'm not going to go through.
I appreciate it.
Why do barbers make good drivers?
Why?
They know all the shortcuts.
Oh, God.
And this one is just a slice of life. At a meeting, the corporate manager told a joke. Everyone on the team laughed except for one guy. Didn't you understand my joke? The manager asked. Oh, I understood it, but I resigned yesterday. That's just true facts of life. That's not even a joke. That's just life.
Yeah, that's just how it goes.
And ending today with, why couldn't the lifeguard save the hippie?
Why?
He was too far out, man.
Oh, that was bad.
Something along the lines of, he's too high up or something. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Boston. We're only that far through.
Yeah. We're only on page 2 of 300.
Page 2 of too many. Oh my God.
Oh boy. Page 6 of 202.
That's so many. God. Okay, are you guys ready for the rest of this?
Yeah.
Sure.
As my neighbor starts cranking out his diesel.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of May 15th, 2023. Humanity comes out PS4, PS5, PSVR, PSVR 2, and PC. This is PlayStation Plus day and date. If you haven't seen this, this is the Shiba Inu controls lemmings puzzle game. And if you haven't seen it, I'm sure that description helps out a whole lot. If you have seen it, you probably know exactly what game it is. This is made by Enhance, the same studio that made Tetris Effect. So people that have played the demo, I've seen a bunch of it. It looks pretty good. This looks like a cool little puzzle thing. So I'm very glad it is coming to PlayStation Plus, because that way I can just not buy it. So we'll see how it goes. Seems cool. Starship Troopers Extermination comes out on PC. This is a 12-player co-op FPS tower defense hybrid thing where you're shooting them bugs. The question that everybody asks about all the Starship Trooper stuff is, hey, did they get the tone right? I have no idea. Probably not.
If this is the one that I think I've seen the trailers for, then yes, they did, but I don't think this is that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 Starship Troopers
like
things.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. You get some of that 40K licensing where it's like, well, we can make so much money. Wow, yeah, all right. So
interesting. Well, it costs $1 for the license, so yeah.
That's right, yeah, like we could buy one. So I'm curious to see about this one, because the shooting looks fairly interesting in the trailer, and I kind of like the idea of just this 12-player FPS tower defense thing. Having that many players in one match sounds like it would be pleasantly bonkers. So
Conceptually, I really like the idea. However, in execution, I don't want to play with randos. And how often are 12, 11 people I know available at the same time?
Right.
One of the reasons I dropped out of Destiny is because I can't find 2 people to play at the same time as me.
That's right. Yeah, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Firmament is coming out this week on OS 10 and PC. The Myst Studio, Cyan, is making another one of them. So if you like Myst and Riven and the other one,
Return to Myst.
Yeah, and there was 4 or 5 of them or something. They're making one of those.
Did you know that there were books based off of the Myst games?
That's wild.
Do you know that I own, I think, all 4 of them, and I've read them, and they're actually
not
pretty good.
Are they choose your own adventure?
No,
that'd be great.
There's actual lore in these books. Like, they were really good, and the books look really. I'll see if I can find them next time. I got them up in a shelf or in a tote somewhere. But I mean, I came across them by accident. I'm like, this is dumb enough to be funny, and then I started reading them. I'm like, man, these are actually good.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
There are going to be console versions of this, but they're going to be coming out later, quote unquote. So I don't think there's even a release window for that yet. The Outlast Trials comes out in early access on PC. This is the, I believe, 3rd Outlast game, the kind of horror sort of thing, whatever.
Who knows?
This one you can play in 4-player co-op if you want. You can still play solo if you really want, but I thought that was interesting that they're turning this into a co-op thing. Get scared with your friends, I guess.
Is that the one with the night vision camcorder that you're running around with? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And last but certainly not least, Lego 2K Drive comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This looks really cool. I don't think I appreciated everything that's in this.
It does not look cool. It looks like an insane person's nightmare fever dream.
I know. That's so good. But I don't think I appreciated kind of all of the stuff that was in this game, because I thought it was a racing game primarily, but it is also a doing missions, build your own sort of wacky contraptions thing. That
hey, you remember the Crew?
I do.
What would happen if the Crew was set in a Lego universe?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that sounds all right.
Family-friendly shenanigans.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so I don't know. That looks kind of neat. I'm probably not going to be picking it up anytime soon, but because if our plates aren't full enough already. But that looks neat. Lego 2K Drive. Kind of cool. Let's talk about our 2 quick news stories this week. Let's start with the positive one. Game Freak partners with Private Division for a new game. I think this one's notable because Game Freak, for the longest time, has been, we make Pokemon. And not much else. They've made some other stuff here and there, but it's largely been, hey, we're the Pokemon peeps. So they're partnering with Private Division to work on codename Project Bloom. And they released, I think it was just like a piece of concept art. And they're expecting to launch this in Take-Two's fiscal year 2026. So we are probably about 4 years off from seeing this guy. But that's interesting. It's interesting to see Private Division kind of continue to spread their wings a little bit. I think the Outer Worlds did really well for them. I thought I had the right one, and so my brain was like, say Outer Wilds. It's not that one. They did pretty well with Outer Worlds, except for the remaster that just came out, which we're not going to talk about. And I don't think anything else they've done have been as big of a hit, but I think if you want to bring the Pokemon team on to make something different, I think that seems pretty interesting on paper. So not expecting to hear anything more about this for probably a couple of years, but we'll see. Speaking of something we haven't heard anything about for a couple of years, Hollow Knight's Silksong has been officially delayed, which is
shock of shocks.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the first thing we've heard in
forever,
like 3 years or something.
Yeah.
If you remember, this was going to be DLC for Hollow Knight, and then turned into its own game, and then just kept getting bigger.
It was pretty much announced, and then COVID hit, and
right.
Here we are.
And it's still a really small team. I still think it's only a
Yeah.
handful of people like the first one. So it's not. I don't think they have a ton of people, and they've been very vocally anti-crunch, which is great. So like I will continue to wait for this game as long as it means you're not working like 250-hour weeks. Like I am definitely I am bummed because I want to play this game, but I'm definitely not upset about it. Team Cherry marketer Matthew Griffin said on Twitter, quote, "Hey gang, just a quick update about Silksong. We had planned to release in the first half of 2023, but development is still continuing. We're excited by how the game is shaping up, and it's gotten quite big, so we want to take the time to make the game as good as we can. Expect more details from us once we get closer to release," end quote, which you'll notice also did not have a release window.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you really can't be mad about it because they're giving you a game that's big, and God, Hollow Knight was already pretty big, and they're probably going to polish the hell out of that because I think Hollow Knight came out in a really good state. I don't remember there being anything really significantly wrong with that. So if you want to keep working on it to make it better, cool. Not gonna be too mad about that. I'll cry a little bit.
Yep.
Because I want to play it, but we'll wait.
Have to beat the first game. I'm up to the 3 Mantis boss fight, and I was like, well, this fight sucks, and then I just never got back to it.
Hey, you know what? A fight does suck.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great game. I love that game. I shouldn't play it again. It's very good. I got other stuff to play. But anyways, that's our news stories this week, and that's our episode this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Discord server. Want to talk to us about Ghostwire Tokyo? You can do that over there. Want to talk about Loop Hero? Sure. We'll probably be talking a whole bunch about Tears of the Kingdom now that a bunch of us are starting to play it. Share your nightmare creations over there on the Discord server. And
I saw something about a flamethrower hopefully turning into a jet engine, and then a reply back going, "Nope."
Yep. Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the now infamous flamethrower man that has been around Twitter. That if you have not
seen that,
yeah, I can't describe what the flamethrower is, but you can probably guess. It's the first thing that most people make in creative games. So go search for that. If you'd like to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are the numbers.
You can support us financially over there. All of your money goes towards hosting and software and equipment and stuff like that. Moon still needs a new computer, so get your rich friends on over there. Tell them that it costs a lot of money. However much money they got, tell them to spend it over there. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. You can support us by sharing on social media, telling your friends, rating the maximum number of stars or likes or hearts or thumbs up or whatever you can on whatever podcatcher or platform you listen to. All of that stuff genuinely does help. And don't forget to go like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. That visibility also helps. Also, if you just want to see us and some gameplay along with us, you can relive that stuff. We do put video versions of everything that goes up on the public feed on the YouTube channel. And you can get all of that over there. That's our episode this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Before we do titles, I do need to give the respect due where it's worth. I didn't actually read Clarissa's dad joke. Which is, I got called into work today. I've got severe flu-like symptoms and an infected tick bite. You know what that means? I got corona and Lyme.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the best dad jokes that makes you sigh, where it's like, you got me. Good one. 2 thumbs up. All right, Nimp, what titles do you have?
All right, I only have 3, which are Bebop Boop. What have you been playing? swimming in Vaseline. And my favorite, Peppa Pig has performance mode.
No, I gotta write that one down. All right, Moon, what do you have?
I will not. My variation on that one is PPPM, just 4 letters, nice and simple.
PPPM?
Less suable.
Right.
Transitional games, steal my lunch with a cool review, change the glider fabric, why would a human make this, I shouldn't play it again, and share your nightmares.
Okay, why would a human make this? I have Beep Bop Boop, Peppa Pig has performance mode, PPPM, and why would a human make this? Anything else that stood out that you guys like?
Not off the top of my head.
Which ones do I like? I like why would a human make this? It's like maybe a little long, but not impossibly so. PPPM is really good. Let me Google that really quick. Make sure it isn't something like
Some weird thing.
Do you guys hate this thing? Oh,
Welcome
the
to
University
Proud
of
Boys website.
Oh, you mean the University of Oregon's College of Design School of Planning, Public Policy and Management?
That has to be fake.
It is not. Or particle mesh, particle system simulation.
I mean, that, yeah, they don't try with acronyms very well.
Pokemon Profile Picture Month. Project Program and Portfolio Management.
So we're safe with PPM is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Oh, you could get a BA or a BS in PPPM.
Goodness. You always get a
choose BS.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what we've got. I feel like now we have to do PPPM.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't think any of the other ones are as standout now.
Okay, I got something just based on a non sequitur of what it sounds like.
Oh boy.
I was reminded of something when I was talking to people about RPMs, and I cannot say what we were talking about on this podcast.
Fair enough.
But it was a good joke then, and it's a good joke now.
Right.
Oh man,
This is a tough one. If we had more knowledge about Peppa Pig, we could maybe make a joke about that, but
well, mine's not even a joke about that. Mine's just a stupid joke because of what it sounds like. It's stupid in the stupidest ways, and is completely going to break whatever he says too. So that's great, even better.
yes.
All right, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 812 from May 15th, 2023. PPPM.
Consult your doctor before use.
Actually, yeah, that was kind of where I was going with too about medical crap. I got nothing now.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. We hope we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.